She said, I don't want a model, I don't want a movie star. You don't have to win the lotto. Oh, I want you to win my heart. Yeah. She said, I just want someone true. She said, I just want someone smoke with me, baby. Lay with me, baby. Laugh with me, baby. I just want the simple thing.
What's up, guys? Welcome to yet another episode of Metanoia. I know it's been a while since I recorded. My apologies. Plus, also, this corona really isn't helping. I hope you guys are staying safe, but we shall see how to maneuver with all this pandemic going on. So, today I have an amazing guest. She's a lady who has gone through so much, yet she keeps on smiling. So, I'll let her introduce herself as usual. So please stay tuned. So welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Fiona Akinyi.
Yeah.
I am a Kenyan YouTuber. Yeah, and I do videos on hair, makeup, a little bit of lifestyle. Yeah, and I'm 26 years old. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of your channel. So please tell us, like, I saw a video. You went through chemotherapy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So last year in 2019, I did chemotherapy sessions, and the reason why I went through chemo is because I got sick, I think around in May, June, and to cut the long story short, I had cancerous tumors growing on my uterus and my ovaries, and then later on they spread to my lungs, and so that's why I went through chemo. Yeah.
So how soon did you detect it, and did it affect you?
Yes, it did. It didn't. Initially, I just started becoming sick. I started having excessive bleeding. I became anemic, and then I had a series of, let me say, diseases here and there. Once it started with anemia, and then malaria, and then I was in and out of hospital, and then it got to a point now where because the excessive bleeding wasn't stopping, my stomach started swelling. Yeah, so it got to a point where I could barely walk. Yeah, so I was just like using my like my knees and my hands to walk because it was that painful. Yes, and I used to look like I was 5 months pregnant.
How comes?
Yes, because the tumors were growing. And that was after being anemic, because at that time, by the time my stomach was swelling, my HB was around 3, and 3 is really bad. So HB is just basically not having enough red blood cells in your body. And the reason why I was bleeding is because of the tumors, and the tumors were also sucking the blood from me just so that they could, survive or something. So I got to a point where I went to hospital, and they had to remove the tumors because initially they didn't know if they were cancerous. So they removed the tumors, and they had to do the test on the tumors to know if they were cancerous or not. So they told me, go back and come back after 7 days so that you know if they are cancerous. But as usual, if you are told, if the doctor mentions the word cancer to you,
You just know you're
in fact, I used to feel like it can't be. I mean, so they've already removed the tumors, we're okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back after 7 days because I wasn't ready. Like in my head, it could be really like, why me? Like why?
You're only 26.
I mean, it can't be me. So later on, I think after I got out of hospital the first time, for the first 2 weeks I was okay, but then I started having the pains, and that's when the swelling started. So after a while, when I continued becoming sick, that's when I went back to the hospital, and then the doctor looked at my file, and they realized that the test was already done, and because I didn't go for my second appointment, that's why it continued increasing, and then that's when I was told that you have cancerous tumors on your uterus and your ovaries, and they can't remove it surgically, so the only other option is chemotherapy.
So we all know going through chemotherapy, you get to lose your hair.
Yeah.
You being a YouTuber, yes?
Yeah.
We all Us girls, we love our hair, yes? So how did that affect you? Your video, when you spoke about it, I literally cried with you. I felt your pain. Yeah, so tell us about that.
That was hard. Let me just be honest. I feel like the whole time I was going through my chemo sessions, I was in denial. I was like, okay, I know people's hair. In fact, the first time I was told I was going to have chemo, that I remember it was on a Sunday, and I was supposed to be admitted on a Monday. And by this time, I've already changed hospitals. So this particular doctor who was supposed to admit me told me, you know, yes, chemo makes people's hair fall, but you can find an exception. So in my head, I was the exception.
Yeah.
So the first time I was admitted into the ward, I was shocked. Like everyone was bald and thin, and some had, I think it's called a line. You know that other thing where they put it inside your artery. I think it's artery vein or something. Yeah, everyone had it. Some had them on their neck, some had them on their feet, and I was like, this can't be me. This can't be my life. So the whole time I was just in denial, and I didn't see my hair falling all that time until November when I started noticing some patches, and I think I did a video on that because I was away from YouTube for a long while. And when I came back, I think around November, I noticed patches on my head, some parts over here and over here on the crown, and I was like, okay, maybe it's shedding a little bit, but it can't, it can't be. Yeah. So the whole time I was in denial until January, when, in fact, I never used to wash my hair because I was scared. I was scared that it would fall. So I never used. In fact, I think I stayed for months without washing my hair. The only thing I used to do was spray water on my hair, and that's it. I never oiled it. I never did nothing because I was in denial. Of course, I knew my hair was dirty, but I didn't care. The thing is, I was just attached to it. Like, it can't be it. And let me just say this: my natural hair journey has been very different in the sense that it took time, it took money, it took emotions, it took effort to grow it, okay? And this was the first time ever in my life having to see my own natural hair like growing that long. So having to accept the fact that it was going to fall, it was hard. It was hard. So that morning when I woke up, I remember it was on a 20th, because the same day I posted that video is the same day I decided, you know what, this is it, like this is it. So when I woke up, it was on the 20th of January. So I just woke up, and initially I didn't think that it was going to be like that, but when I looked at my hair in the mirror, I just knew that this is the point of no return. Like, just accept it, like this is it, your hair is falling. And I could like remove now Vuta IV, and I can see in at all. It wasn't painful, but I just couldn't believe that this is it. There's nothing like an exception. That's a lie. There's nothing like an exception. You go through chemo, and when you read the bottles and not necessarily tablets, but just bottles that you buy from the hospital or at the chemist that you were told by the doctor to go and get them. When you look at the bottles or the boxes, they say 99% chance your hair's gonna fall. For me, the whole time I was just in denial because I felt like the only thing I used to post on YouTube was hair. So now what am I going to post about from now on? Yeah, so it was hectic, but after letting it fall, after cutting what needed to be cut, in a way, imagine I had some relief. Like, I was not at a crossroad anymore. If this is it, this is the journey, this is the road I'm going to go through, and this is it. So let's just accept it.
So going through all that, do you think like it has changed you as a person, also as a YouTuber?
It has.
Yes.
It has, because right now, after going through all that, I realized that I have been attached to my hair, like really, really attached. I was really attached to my hair, but now I'm just like, to hell. If it grows, fine. If it doesn't, it's fine. And imagine before that, if someone would have told me that I was attached to my hair, I would have told you that it's a lie. But now that I look back, I realize that I was really attached to my hair, like really attached. That's why it was so painful to let it go. So of course I've changed in the sense that I've come to realize, yes, hair is important to women, but it's not as important as your health, you see. So just accept it and move on. And then another thing about my content creation side, it has forced me to find a way of creating something out of my comfort zone. Okay, so maybe become more vulnerable in terms of my content, post something different. And so far so good. I feel like my YouTube has grown because of being more real and vulnerable to my audience, as opposed to before when all I posted was just my hair and I was confident about my hair and nothing else. Yeah, so obviously things have changed now, and I'm just like, of course it's grown a little bit, but I'm not desperate to see the growth coming. Okay, like retaining length and having long hair. I'm just like, sawa, if it grows, fine. If it doesn't, we'll put on headdress and wigs and move on with life. Yeah.
So what can you advise people out there, people who have gone through the same struggle as you? Yeah, just a word of wisdom.
I think, to be honest, chemo is hard. Like, going through chemo is so hard. It's emotionally tough, it's physically tough, it's financially tough. But I feel like at the end of the day, people can encourage you as much as they want, but it's up to you to choose to accept to live. Even at this point, I can decide to think, maybe I'm going to have a relapse, maybe it's going to come back. But I can't live life like that. That's not living, that's not life, okay? Yeah. Be in the moment, have faith in God, just trust God, and don't believe or don't look at other people's situation and be like, because so and so had chemo or went through cancer and they healed, but at some point they had a relapse, so that's going to be my situation as well. Be in the moment and just live life as it is right now. And you're the only person who can really encourage yourself. Like, it comes from within, as opposed to having other people telling you, because they can say all they want, but if you don't believe in yourself that you can go through this and recover, then it's a waste of time. And I feel like living starts in the mind. Like, even if you go through all your chemo sessions and you still believe you're going to die, then maybe you're going to die. So just have the will to live. That's the point. Have the will to live. And I also remember at that time when I was in hospital, we used to talk amongst ourselves as patients, and we'd just tell ourselves, you know what, you have to have the will to live. You have to have the will to live, because being in hospital is hard. Seeing people die every week is hard. Like, you're taking to someone today and tomorrow they are dead. It's hard. Like, you need to have the mental strength. Okay, so just have the will to live. It's not easy, but you have to believe that, you know what, I'll see tomorrow, I'll see the other day, I'll see the next day. So yeah, that's it. So I think the bottom line is, have the strength to believe that, you know what, kesho nitaona, the other day nitaona, I'll be here next year, so have the will to live, because I feel like so long as I'm still alive, God wants me to be alive. And
there's a reason for everything. Exactly. Thank you very much, Fiona, for coming to the show. So guys, if you want to see her channel, you can find everything in the description box below. She has a lot in store for you guys. Please go check her out. If you liked this episode, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Till next time, cheers.